and that was kind of against the TA. I was mainly seeing if the Darkseer was being played as a position too. So I like the Conquer answer instantly. Bloodseeker, Darkseer, yes, both very fast, but you don't have this instant way to get out of vision to escape the X. Gives you a nice little extra layer to protect the Terrorblade, maybe to give him some time for the boat, and just AoE team fight control as well, which Terrorblade is something that he does lack.
You're going to be able to get a few, some wombo combos off though with the Darkseer, right? In combination together with the Blood Ripe, with the Earthspike coming out from the Leon. Rubik, I mean, that's going to be nice if he's able to steal the vacuum or the wall, to be honest. But when you think about it, like, Darkseer is always going to be good against these uh, heroes that have incredibly strong right-click potential. So TB, of course, being one of them. Luna is the best matchup that the Darkseer can be looking to go into.
5 seconds
My concern
remaining.
is, like you said before, it gives away the laning stage a little bit, most likely. And I mean, what do you want to pair together with it as well?
Radiant team ban.
Imber Spirit.
I mean, that's going to be quite nice. They don't have any dispels at the moment for it. And you'd say that Pango has to be a position 5, so what's left? They need their POS 3 still?
For
And nothing
for Yangon. Yeah.
10
And
seconds
they
remaining.
have nothing right now that's going to be able to
Radiant
offensively
team
dispel.
ban.
Like, I feel like a Shadow Demon would have been pretty damn decent this game already, but they went into the Rubik instead, which is a little surprising to me. Like, it would have been good for everything, right? Like, it'd be effective against the Darkseer. It prevents the Ember Spirit pick from happening. It means
10
that you can
seconds remaining.
use it even offensively
Dire
with your
team
Terrorblade
back.
to be able to push forward stronger with illusions. So, I don't know. Seems a little bit out of place, this Rubik pick.
I like the Invoker ban at least. You were speaking about an offensive dispel. I know Young PH didn't have the greatest performance on it in game 1, but if they were looking to flex the Conquer to a
10
3 and then
seconds
get the
remaining.
matchup versus the Ember in the mid lane and have a way to be able to purge off the Surge and
5
Iron Shell
seconds
as well.
remaining.
So nice ban from Polaris. Wonder if they'll now go back into a position 3 ban. They probably need another way to initiate fights. I don't know if they still even just ban Beastmaster to get them out of their comfort, because it does seem, again, like Yangon don't hate, well, they feel like that is a key infrastructure to their draft setup, but I wonder if Polaris are,
Radiant team
they'll
pick.
ban it.
It's, the fact is, like, it's not a bad Beastmaster game either, right? Like, good initial setup for an Earth Spirit, for a Darkseer, in a Beast Aura to pair together with a Terrorblade. We only saw it once around that mid-tier 1 tower because they were just getting stomped in every single lane.
10
But you
seconds
saw how
remaining.
quickly they were able to take some kind of map advantage when they did win a team fight.
5 seconds remaining.
So what do we got?
Dire team pick.
Sanking, maybe?
Legion Commander.
Okay. I mean, you can get out of, Searing Chains and some stuns on the Lion, and it's a good way to set up on some of these high mobility heroes like the Darkseer and the Ember Spirit, so it's not awful.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
just think that...
5 seconds remaining.
Monkey King.
You may now select your heroes.
Okay, so is this a pos for Darkseer? Or a 5, even? Nope.
The Bloodseeker.
Position...
Okay, so...
4 Bloodseeker.
Interesting, that they give it to the 4. So they're going down the SMG route, where they are fans of carrying the Pangolier with a support Bloodseeker. They have 4 melees to combine up with the Darkseer, and a great way to deal with the Legion Commander in the lane with the Monkey King. They have also pretty solid AoE control to keep in the Wukongs, especially with the Nico vacuum potential.
Yeah, the slow
10
component of it is
seconds
very
remaining.
highly underestimated as well, just to be able to keep them inside that small
5
space.
seconds
Not even just for the
remaining.
Wukongs, right? Just the Blood Right can be unavoidable unless you're popping the BKB for it. And hell, even if it gets to super later on, you're going to have the Darkseer who's going to have the normal punch. So you run into the Terrorblade, you punch him in the face, and that TB illusion that it spawns is going to do a decent amount too.
How are we feeling about this second game? Can Yangon back into the Terrorblade, but is a draft that you feel like is a little bit different to enable how?
I'm still preferring Polaris. Can I just put it out there? If there's a Pangu and it's countered by a Bloodseeker, I'm going for the Bloodseeker draft almost every single time, unless the rest of the draft is just shocking.
Well, this seems like it's not too shocking from Polaris. We've seen the Bloodseeker support previously, maybe the Lion 5, but I guess you want to pair the Bloodseeker, the melee 4 with the Darkseer. So I'm intrigued to see how this combo is going to work. Doesn't seem like it's going to be anywhere near better than what like an Earth Spirit or Tusk or Nyx Assassin would. So you're probably going to be pretty reliant on the other lanes to enable the Bloodseeker and Darkseer just for the early thirst, and we'll see how this is going to come down into play. I don't hate the Yangon draft. I think they've got a solid lineup, and I'm just really worried that Legion's going to become a bot as the game goes on, and I think it's nice at least you have a Terrorblade who utilizes the press the attack bonus attack speed, but I think you need all 3 cores to be able to take this game. So just anticipating Zorain's lane to not go the greatest, and that's why I'm probably going to favor Polaris. But there's ways around this. You know, we've seen how they can play previously, Yangon. Of course, they have 4 map wins prior to this. They were able to, in fact, beat SMG once, and that's a team currently on top of the
30
table.
seconds to battle.
So we'll see if they can continue on. They 2-0 Dreammakers, and they 1-1 Motivate Trust as well. So I've been able to have some solid showings. They were also able to beat Motivate with Hao's Terrorblade. So if this can come back into a solid performance here, look to get some retribution from their game 1 performance, especially for Yangon, then that'd be nice for them to close out the day.
Yeah, but that game that they won against SMG, that was the POS 5 Invoker game. So we have to keep that in mind. Didn't work out too well for them, and offlane Tinker did not either. It was against a Storm Spirit. He was food quite frequently. So you gotta give I'm a big fan of YG Yangon Galacticos, but their game 1 draft was not it at all, and this one, it's better, but I really don't like the Bloodseeker just easily being able to counter you. So we'll see how good it is in lane, of course. Nico and Boomy down towards the bottom side. You've got Lun, of course, a melee support who can be punished. But yeah, just look at that. I'm not sure if your camera was down at the bottom, but
yeah, it was.
It does not look like that shield crash hit both of them, but it does. It's kind of crazy, the range on it.
Yeah, it's a 500 radius, but you don't really expect the range that it has. How does a Terrorblade fare in lane versus the Darkseer? I know you were speaking about as the game goes on, the wall is a great way to be able to deal with anyone that's got high base damage, but how is the lane matchup?
Against the Darkseer on its own, like in a 1-to-1, it's fine. But when you've got this melee hero that's also running at you with an Ion Shell, and TB has terrible base HP. He relies heavily on his armor to be able to dodge it a lot. They're going to be able to get the D ward off there, so that's nice for YG down on the bottom side. But yeah, you got to be careful because the lane's going to naturally push in under the tower, right? So as long as you just dive, let's say at level 3 underneath the tower with a couple of Ion Shells on, if you don't have that reflection or some other kind of slow or body block up, then you can just chase underneath the tower, and as long as you don't right-click the TB, the tower's not going to hit you. The tower's going to be more concerned with dealing with creeps, and you can get some very easy kills onto him.
And in the opposite side lane, Polaris running the Monkey King Lion, so the double stun lane. A lot of action at the moment as we were sort of Rubik fall at an incredibly low rate, and he's forced all the way back to base here. So this is going to give Zorain some solo experience, or just a bit more of a difficult time as he doesn't have a support to really protect him.
If Max on point with where he chooses to place his sentry. He's just going to go for the D ward. There we go. Nicely done.
How does the mid matchup fare with the Ember versus the Conquer? Is this just going to be like a farming battle between the two, or is it edge one way?
I would say since the change to the
Well, Nico, this actually might be our first blood. Yeah, Hao will just pick it up with the reflection, so already Yangon having a bit of a better start. Are they even going to be able to pick up Boomy? Needs another lucky shot. She'll crash up in a couple of seconds. Just gets the clip, but didn't find the right angle to jump on forward with that.
Yeah, fight against Lon here. Will he have the speed to be able to chase him down underneath the tower? The disarm!
Oh my
no,
god, Boomy's still going. Oh, Boomy. Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, that's the tip.
He gave out the next level play as well with the voice line. He's like, all right, you know, you got a little bit lucky there with the RNG. I respect it.
I feel like mid lane Max should have a good enough time. You know, he's even now got the 2 points into the Flame Guard, so there's no way for you to get rid of this this magic damage that's constantly just smashing out onto you. Even just level 1, right? That's not going to be enough with the Torrent only dealing 75 damage. Flame Guard now 110 at level 1.
And it has to be said, the Ember is probably top 3 heroes of Max, so having a comfort hero like this, even gonna just TP back, try and make sure he min-maxes his lane and get all the creeps as possible.
Just the small things, like he made sure that Slide of Fist only hit the range creep, so he wasn't unnecessarily pushing the lane out. Nicely done, even dragging into the range creep.
So far, does seem like Max gonna have a little bit easier of a time in regards to his rotations across the map than what the Conquer will. Young PH is a little bit more relying on some TPs and so eyeing up mid. Is the kill off the Darkseer, macking Young PH falling really low. Okay, so never mind, no kill mid. It's in the side lanes where we see they bring up Nico once again thanks to the Terrorblade metamorphoses.
I'm really surprised that they're able to get multiple kills onto him. Like, sure, you got a couple of slows, but this is a Darkseer. I guess he's gotten the point into the vacuum instead of the Surge. It might be a mistake.
Max in trouble. They get the initial stun. Telekinesis used to hold him in place, but he can dodge the boat with a beautifully timed slight. And that was a pretty hefty commitment from the side of Polaris, as they do bring in both supports to keep him alive.
Buff is wearing off as well, so he's actually taking more damage than you might expect. So Boomy, he's able to get some cleanup gold coming through there. And now this is where you do need to be a little bit careful. You can see that the lane has been pulled, but this enables you to dive a little bit further if they wanted to onto the TB. They might be happy to go for the Pango instead.
I'll make sure this time he doesn't get out of the Blood Ride, and there's no way he can outplay Boomy. And I see they might just look to now start to cut the wave. They've lost their catapult, unfortunately. As top lane, though, the action continues as Natsumi to be able to continue with his very solid laning stage that we saw in game 1. He's already got two kills, and they are putting kind of the treatment into Zorain.
Yeah, for sure. They were able to get the kill onto the Pango, sure. I feel like TB is still the one that you need to be putting a bit more focus into, right? Because he was able to get the experience from a couple of kills in the lane super early on. He's having a totally fine time.
See how the stacking game also fares as well. It still doesn't seem like there's anything different with the change of the moment. People are continuing to put priority, and it feels like it's just a natural thing right now with how it's been in the game for so long and how important stacks are. People have, you know, the muscle memory almost, like when they need to shove out the lane, when they can leave their maybe side lane, you know, their off lane in particular. There's time for Zorain because he's farming under the tower. You know, the Rubik doesn't need to be there to soak up experience, so this will give Skill a perfect chance to be able to make a double stack at the triangle.
What would they even give some of these early stacks to on Polaris' side, right? Because it feels, like we were saying before, no real way to have this offensive dispel happening. So I feel like if you can get that Ion Shell buffed up with the Aghanim Scepter super early, that's going to enable Mac just as well as any kind of item that he might look to build for himself.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
How's the target at the moment? They weren't able to get the blood right damage, is probably what they needed to bring him down. So you're just continuing to see how much pressure they want to put on, and in fact Mac's even looking to TP down as well. So they'll look to cut the wave next and then trying to attempt to dive here. How's going to be careful how long he sticks. They don't even care about the creeps. They're just looking to brute force down straight away. But nice cut through Mac. This will find Lund, but it's not as impactful of a kill as what the Terrorblade would have been.
So the disarm plays Lund. No, he can't get away. Unfortunate. That should be the tower though. Most likely, you could just have Nico here go through with the Ion Shell, cut the next wave, and well, they can see where the Terrorblade is. So they're just going to keep volume away from the lane. And, well, slowly shrinking the map size that you've got right now for YG to play around.
Guess it gives some time for the supports to be able to get some experience mid, as skill A on the Rubik is 3 at the moment, mirrored up. In fact, CML is already level 5, so with 2 assists is hitting very comfortably. Might even soak up some of the jungle experience as well, as Natsumi's gone maxed out Primal Spring, so looking for his farm accelerant in regards to the skill build, heavy into that instead of kind of the aggressive, Boundless and Jingu leveling.
Like I was expecting as well, Nico ended up taking one little stack, and he's made another one for himself again, so he's going to get the original gold plus the stack gold coming through, already finishing up the point booster, even diving in onto Lun here. It's called Lucky Shot. He's been getting pretty lucky so far this game with that disarm underneath the tower, as well as a few ones that have enabled TB to survive. With 0 deaths so far, it's a very different game from how early going.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It still doesn't seem like it's going to get any easier though, especially with how fast Dai can play. He can have an incredible way to be able to infiltrate into the jungle, which at the moment Young PH is taking the ancient stack instead of the Terrorblade with meta. So this is all underneath the cover of... So this is all actually Dai getting information of, I should say. So they're well aware of what's occurring off to the kind of western side of the map.
Where they can make plays as well. I think that's the key component here. Ember Spirit, as you would logically think, he's going into the Maelstrom against the Terrorblade. It's going to be very good at dealing with those early illusions in particular. Like you said, it's a fast-paced lineup, so you want to make sure you've got the ways to deal with it super early on. And, once the Darkseer has the Aghanim Scepter, once you got that Maelstrom, those TB illusions feel like butter.
Top lane's going to be Smoke Root. This is Natsumi scouting out How's or Rain hand in hand. Skill A behind them as well. Natsumi's a perfect position. Oh,
they cut
the tree. Still aren't able to utilize the stun lock on Natsumi, but he's in trouble. They're just going to blow him up faster than expected, as Zorain doesn't even charge up the jewel there, unfortunately. He'd love to get some damage. Doesn't look like he'll close the distance on CML. So it's a bit surprising the fact that they just blew up Natsumi like that. They will penalize Lun for his position as Boomy will pick up the kill. Is that a finger of death charge? It is for CML as well.
If there was a time for the next level play, that was definitely it. Cutting him out of the trees as he's charging up the Wukong's command. Very nicely done by Zorain there.
Mid, Young PH gonna be forced to drop the boat, looks like, with the damage mitigation. Should be okay. Mac is actually going to be the target of the duel. Natsumi on the outskirts will lay down the Wukongs. It's going to be enough to keep Mac alive. Drag back. Beautiful timing of the X. They'll secure the kill. Silver linings is they don't pick up the jewel damage. They will end up losing the Rubik. Nico, that's a great use of the wall as well. Skill actually going to go down. Natsumi has to pounce on forward. Nice. It's like it's not going to compromise his positioning. Or maybe with Lund coming over with the Rolling Thunder. The blood right, just a little bit too late to cancel that. Natsumi died previously. This is another big kill if they can pick it up. They'll bounce it back on the higher ground, furthering no opportunity to get the retreat away. But Young PH still is in trouble here. Incredibly tanky with a double bracer, but at least his movement speed can get him out of range of the blood right. And Radiant just going to set up kind of a barrier here so they can't close the distance on Conquer. But now with Mac getting back involved to close the distance, Max out Slight and Orbit Corrosion enables them to bring through Young PH, and now they can transition this for a secondary kill as Lun is the target. They're not done just yet. Zoraini wasn't able to retreat fast enough, and
out of mana.
Be a bit cautious running up the high ground blind at the moment. So yeah, all in all, though, definitely a much better performance from Yangon in this second game.
I think the key component of that is that, you know, you have a Monkey King turning up and dying a couple of times, and how's farming? You know, in the past 2 minutes, he's gone from being about 1,000 net worth behind the Monkey King to 500 ahead. So how's loving life right now with all the space that he's been provided?
Yeah, that is Dragonlance Sunjin Yasha is the itemization here for Hao's Terrorblade. Meanwhile, for Natsumi, he's going to go for the BKB as his next item. Level 10 at the moment, so just one behind the top of the level in the Conquer, who's incredibly beefy, and we've already seen how difficult it has been to kill Young PH.
Step lively now. Your Admiral is on board.
Anything else coming out to him? No, just the Keen Optic at the moment, wanting to group up for another smoke, I believe. Do you have a Blink Dagger on the LC? No, you don't, but is he level 10? No, he isn't either. So I was thinking maybe the extra dual cast range might have enabled them to catch one of the slipperier heroes. I'm sure you can just use Skill A for that same sort of purpose.
Ooh. They can get the at least first duel victory. Be nice. It's a bit of a commitment in their ultimates. I look to take the stack as well.
This as well. Yeah.
Max is actually going to join. They even buy back on Boomy, so they really want to penalize Yangon from sticking around. Looks like it'll only be Lun that's caught off by the secret shop. So they're probably happy with, I mean, they're more than happy with that. You got the 10 dual damage, took a little bit of the stack. 5 heroes on Polaris showing up there, and meanwhile, Hao is continuing to free farm.
Yeah, they're totally cool with that. This is a great result coming through for YG right now. So even though, again, you've got this Pango into the Bloodseeker lineup, he hasn't been in position to be able to punish it a few times now. I think it's good that they're going for these key pickoffs. Granted, it's under fairly obvious position. You know, they have wards, they have understanding of the movements into the area eventually. But I just feel like it's going to get to that point where as long as you're playing around these big 5v5 team fights, they're going to start to turn Polaris' way.
Successful scan from Yangon. They're aware of the movement coming through. So they, again, get out of dodge on Hao. Is 0 deaths at the moment. And now with the SMY completed and meta, I wonder if Radiant are going to look for an engagement. But they are kind of close to BKB on Young PH. Maybe they'll think otherwise and might need Blink from Zorain as well.
Seems like a fair ways away. I mean, if they are going to look to go into a pick-off, maybe a dual victory, Young PH has to be a little bit careful here. He's walking up onto the high ground, even looking for that X follow-up. Not going to get it with the extra vision coming through from the Torrent. Yeah, you can tell that pick-off into Roche is the key thing that they were looking for there. Unfortunately, just too slippery on Polaris' end.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Trying to find an angle in though. See how difficult it is. Blinks have been itemized here from Radiant, so they're really just relying on the Conquer to brute force in. But I feel like Dire are kind of content right now with the Darkseer still not having his first item timing. It's about to be completed
well, he does now.
Yeah, with Nico finding enough gold for the Aghanim, so still a bit shy. Well, Maelstrom completed on the Ember. We're looking for BKB on Monkey King as well. So maybe then actually you can just, oh, what do you know, disable the Echo Saber. And this is definitely smoke territory for Polaris. They're going to need a big fight here, considering, you know, they're not too far behind. But you ain't going to be, oh man, what another position from Lun. He does have Young PH, so Natsumi's actually just going to look to pounce on 4. They know how much more of a valuable target the Conqueror is compared to anyone else. If they got to cancel, CML just getting in range, they'll be able to bring him down. So successful smoke.
If they were able to only get Lund, then, you know, I would say clearly Yangon favored. Not only would it protect the rest of the cause, but also reveal a lot more information about the item timings, but the fact they're able to get both, pretty big deal there Actually didn't realize that the mid tower has essentially taken no damage, but Polaris, they're going to look to change that now. Oh, they found Zorain.
It's pretty juicy. It's going to take them a while to be able to kill him off from 4-0, and it actually forces Natsumi just to commit a BKB without any vision on the high ground. So see how this is going to cost Polaris, and still they're unable to find the tower.
It's always going to be an issue taking Roche with this lineup, right? Like the Monkey King, he's gone into the BKB, of course. He's looking to... I'd probably just go back into the Echo Saber, excuse me. Does he want to go back into a Desolator or something after that? I feel like you might need it if you're looking to take Roche. Plus, it pairs well together with, you know, the Ember Spirit, the Bloodseeker in terms of right-click damage.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't mind if he ends up going to the Deso. We'll see Radiant's armor. It's not the worst. Legion, pretty comfortable. The supports are a bit low. 8 on both the Pango and the Rubik. Conkers doesn't have the greatest armor as well, but TB and Legion are decent at the moment. They're going to try and attempt Roche. I feel like this is where Polaris just... They're so happy if you fight into a Roche. They've got all the AoE.
Sure, I feel like they needed to go for it, right? You've got the double damage available on the TB. They're looking to smoke and make an attempted play.
Again.
I don't hate this. I mean, the fact that the Legion commanders went for the Vanguard instead of the Blink Dagger is seriously hindering them from getting these kinds of pickoffs.
Smoke's gonna end up popping. That's a dieback as well previously. Natsumi still looking for an angle to charge up the Wukongs.
Look at what Lun can do because of all of this space.
Yep. The Blood Riot in the choke point like Roche could be devastating. This is going to pounce on Fort. Man, what a wall. Followed up from Natsumi's Boundless Strike. They've cut off the retreat at the mouth of the pit. There's no escape for Hao. He'll turn to Sunder up, but with the Metamorphosis on cooldown, he's got no damage in the tape as Polaris. Exactly the position of the fight they were looking for as they can chase down Skille next as well. And after the kills, Roshan is the grand old prize if they want to go claim it.
Only half HP. I think they can feel confident in doing this. You know, not 100-0, but 50-0, that's certainly achievable. I mean, yeah, there was a bit of a save your mate syndrome in there as well, coming through from Zorain, wanting to get back, press the attack in onto the TB, and maybe enable him to live. Was going for a bit of a chase there. That's what he's caught on the high ground. The highest Boundless Strike I've ever seen. Immediate D-Ward coming through as well.
And a good old pause as well.
The pause combo.
Well, we now got a bit of a lead here for Polaris. This is going to be Age's advantage. It's interesting because both teams have very good choke point fights. Yangon, you'd like to take like a high ground fight where you've got Torrent boat into great setup and choke point, you know, walls to bounce back on for the Rolling Thunder, and where Terrorblade isn't as easily kited, where he can kind of just stand his ground and easily right click. But you can say the exact same for Polaris, and I mean, we don't even have to highlight it. You just, you know, talk back to the last team fight at the mouth of the pit. You see what's going to happen if you take a fight in close proximity. So it really feels like who gets the initial jump, and maybe comes down to who gets the, you know, the vision advantage as well to set up for that jump.
Going for a little bit of a cheeky X-Mark play there on young PH. I'm a little surprised that they didn't continue to fight once they got the initial duel pick-off. Speaking of young PH, he might be looking to get picked off here underneath the tower.
Just going to drop a BKB on Natsumi, make sure there's no extra way to be able to keep the Conqueror alive, and they've also found a rupture on Hao. They have it cancelled. Nico! Just in time. And he's got a Sunder to further delay this, but it's not going to matter. They won't even get it off as Natsumi holds their Boundless to the last second. And oh, it seems like it's now all Polaris as a 5,000 net worth league continuing to grow.
Now they'll finally be able to take out this this tier 1 tower that's been haunting them a little bit here. Sure, it will be the case. I mean, you can't... The damage output isn't there with the Rubik, the Pango, and the Legion Commander on their own, especially when you're all clumped together. But it felt to me like you could not have got a better initial pick-off than the Bloodseeker, right? Like, they get the duel victory off. They combo it together with the Rolling Thunder. You have the double damage with the Metamorphosis popped, but they just decided to go back into doing Roche instead of, you know, maybe looking to get 1-2 more pickoffs. And I feel like if they did that, then they could look to transitioning in. What are you chuckling about?
Just
Found him
top.
up top?
Yeah. CML and Skille, they were. Either of these heroes were standing in the tree line for about 15-20 seconds, and finally with Nico TPing and instantly CML, he jumped, he was aware of the position. Hold that thought. Once again, down bot, Hao's in trouble. They've already used the Boundless. They won't have a way to be able to cancel the Sunder, but Hao's taking an immense amount of beating at the moment. The duel's a little bit too late. You're going on top of the Wukongs. So Natsumi, it's like, thanks, brother. I'll take the extra 20 damage. Now I'll turn to try and clean off Hao as well, knowing that the Sunder's on cooldown. There is no escape for the poor old Terrorblade. He just has to run himself back and forth, and the cost will be his life and the rest of his team.
The tier 2 tower on top of that. I mean, you continue the push forward with the extra 20 damage coming through for Natsumi. It's approaching GG territory for mine, and even now, I feel like the next team fight with Nico, he took the tome when he reached, so now he's almost about to reach level 16. I'm pretty sure he will look to go into the vacuum AoE just to further enable the wombo combo, and he's got the normal punch available as well. So look to see the TB start to hit himself for a fair amount of damage in these team fights.
Oh, Lun. No, no, no. I mean, it's not going to be... What? Were we up to 14 deaths last game? It's not going to get to that stage.
Yes.
But it's getting close. 9 deaths, unfortunately for him. And now from the tower down bot, all the way to top they go. And that's even just even more amplified. 3 points blood rage, so got the extra attack speed, something that a Monkey King loves. Just easier time to be able to find the Jingu. Like you said, you know, they're just giving him a little bit of handicap as well with that plus 20 damage.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
It feels like Skille, for what he's had to play with, has been pretty damn good. You know, he's been able to steal some key spells at certain times. Will they be able to go into CML here?
One meanwhile as well, he's in a bit of trouble. They will be able to make it away. The now target is going to be the Legion Commander, as a finger will completely assassinate him. Blun's got no escape, and Polaris just looking to... Feels like there's the route home, they see it. And just now, if Yangon is able to somehow block them in their pass, but it feels like it's now a very, very easy path to make it to victory. Especially if they find Hao here. Is Boomy on point with this? He's gonna see him. He's got the vision with the...
Yours. Oh.
Blood Riot not providing that vision. Oh. And Mac is Aghanim Scepter shot as well into Refresher. He knows his job. Hunt the supports. Create the chaos.
It's so much magic damage, actually. Like, TB just doesn't have a game. He's still a long way away from picking up that BKB.
Max, he's a Jesus. Ruby just obliterated.
Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant's middle
Feels
tower
like,
under
is there
attack.
big issues right now with the Legion? Like, I don't know. This hero feels like he's just a bot in
Step lively now.
80% of the games I see.
Keep in mind,
Radiant's
this
top
was a
tower
Vanguard first time. He still doesn't have a Blink Dagger, so even if you are able to find the right pickoffs and potentially scale, it doesn't make sense if you don't have the ability to just, you know, quickly obtain that kind of damage.
Even regards the itemization, do you just feel like the hero is just like something's
I feel like
not...
the hero's fine.
Okay.
But maybe the fact that it is a bit more of a ranged carry meta right now, and these heroes that are good at contesting into it, like Monkey King's good against it, Sven's pretty good against it. You've got the Clinks, the TB, the Drow, even Deucer is still kind of in the meta, TA in the laning stage as well, so you don't get the maximum value out of it that you would when you're coming up against, I don't know, like an anti-mage or an Ursa. I mean, Ursa's kind of 50-50, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Lifestealer.
Behold, my
Young PH again. Trying to force out some of the abilities here. It's looking to really just put the Conqueror in the front line, see if he can bait some spells and force again another mistake from Polaris. They're going to try and smoke up and connect to their Terrorblade. Still doesn't have Skadi completed, so an interesting timing of their smoke. The Aegis is ticked out well and truly here, so they're going to try and control up the high ground.
They see him.
This is the high ground you want to die on, though, for Yangon, as Mac's just doing the work by himself. Telekinesis, Sunder's out. They might be able to burst him from 4 to 0, but Mac just gets the Remnant away. They're still going to be able to clip him thanks to the Rolling Thunder, so Polaris have lost 2. Now they can control the high ground thanks to the Wukongs to the northern side. Natsumi is going to just get out of dodge of the Wukongs. He doesn't care about keeping the outskirts, as he'll try and target down Hal with ease. He's got the damage to clean off the Terrorblade.
The important heroes are all dead, though, right now on YG, right? The TB's gone, the LC buyback being used, no Ghost Ship, no Rolling Thunder, so Natsumi, he can just continue to move on forward. He's going to try and find out someone else on the back lines, but no, you can just as easily look to push this into another external tower.
Have they found him? They have. Nice jump from Nico. Somehow Lun makes it away, even after the finger of death, but something's telling me Natsumi is not going to give him the opportunity, but with the Boundless on cooldown, looks like Lun will just scurry away. So we're still seeing Dire. They do have a bit of issues with taking objectives. Once the Monkey King can find a little bit more farm, and especially with 25 Wukongs, you can kind of just lay that down if it really gets to a stage where you're not having fun hitting towers.
I mean, he's still playing with a broom handle as well. Let's keep that in mind. He has not gotten very lucky with some of the neutral items, but it's 28 minutes, so he could, if he wanted to, try and get one of the better ones. Maybe a Paladin Sword would be quite nice for him, just to secure it.
Back around the mid lane they go, just continuing to suffocate Yangon. Side the map. Natsumi will miss the Boundless. This might give Young PH an opportunity to get some abilities off, but as soon as the Wukong's committed, Young PH just gets ripped apart from the Golden Army, and now Mac looking to continue to hunt the backline. They're giving no opportunity for Yangon to retreat back to safety past the tier 2 and the tier 3 tower. A duel is out, but the damage, it's not there at the moment, considering with the Metamorphosis on cooldown, and Hal just has to hope he can get the Sunder up before the stun lock, but he's not fast enough as Natsumi a triple kill, and he's looking to make it into an ultra, potentially a rampage as well. The only thing holding him back is the X, so Mac will just do the work himself and put him all in the grave.
So the only thing holding him back was probably Mac just going for the kill steals in that team fight, and well, yeah, 23. Level 23, 11, 2, and 16. This is a really nice performance coming out from the Monkey King there. Again, showing the strength of this Bloodseeker, not just to counter the Pangolier, but also for the flexibility that it provides to you in where you're looking to play it around the map. He's nearly got his Ags as well. Like, this is a position for Bloodseeker. Game's done, in my eyes. Like, you've been able to get up onto the level 15 on the Terrorblade at least. He's opted to go into more stats just to be able to try and survive a little bit longer in these team fights instead of putting more points into the reflection, but it's just not enough, unfortunately, even with the Eye of Skadi and the talent on top of things.
Oh, we saw it was at least Yangon made him work for it. We're talking like they're out of this. I mean, it's feeling difficult for an angle back in. Can you really see any avenue? I mean, probability says it's 100. I'd
put it at 100.
Yeah. No.
I mean, there's always the chance that an earthquake could rock through, but let's say no.
Really be like that, huh?
Mm-hmm. And things can happen.
It's not any easier now with CML having the Aghanim shard, so he can just zuck away the TB illusions. No bueno.
It was actually the Monkey King that got the Ag shard from Roche. So
he must have bought it himself. Sure.
Yeah, he did. And so just finished up a butterfly and see your broom handle. Hello, Paladin Sword.
Ooh.
So Natsumi is an absolute beast right now. That's a Fey grenade on the ground. All right, why not?
A Radiant?
And Aghanim Scepter complete. Like, the game is over. How do you try and fight into this?
Yeah, it's...
Amazing what you found.
I know Radiant
lying
is smoking out to maybe get some wards down. Okay, Rapier territory. That's what we're going for. Demon Edge. That's got to be the only hope here. I don't know if they're going to get enough time. Because
I was thinking maybe on the Conquer, but I guess he doesn't have the greatest amount of farm right now. Alright, so who's the target they need to focus on? Probably Bloodseeker still. You know, if you're able to get it onto him, then you can get the further follow-up onto the Lion. Any decent BKB status on Yangon, it's just on the Conquer, right? So Darkseer is going to be able to, unless he's in a horrible position, counter you out with a back wall, and it doesn't feel like there's anything that YG can do about it, unfortunately.
it did make an attempt as well to try and kill Mac up top with the Rolling Thunder, so that is on cooldown if the siege comes out.
No, just unfair.
I have okay ways to shove out the lanes from afar. Odds, Fade Bolt, Swashbuckle, Torrent, whatever they want to use. So maybe
Being a
this...
little bit cheeky, putting the Solar Crest onto Natsumi, so he's taking a bit more damage to the tower, attacking a little bit slower.
Well, Max found another angle in, just instantly dropping multiple remnants. Lund ruptured up, so there's no escape for him as well. They're gonna have to pray the buybacks are enough, but Mac on his stellar hero on the Ember. He's going fountain diving. He's fishing for kills, seeing who he can catch, trying to drag back in a Conquer, but this fish too hard to kill.
He's level 25 and hasn't even leveled it up. You know, that's how confident he's feeling right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now just a refresh.
Radiant's middle tower
Why
is
not?
under attack.
He bought the time for himself, even though he didn't need it.
Radiant's
Classic
middle
mid hero.
tower has fallen.
On me.
Radiant's middle
I need
barracks
my
are under
level
attack.
30. That's what he's thinking. Oh, Lon. Oh no. Get to that stage. How close are we to Rapier? Okay, he's gone to MKB. Never mind. A Rapier. Hate to see it.
Pretty sure the base is going to be gone by the time he's finished
Radiant's top
picking up that
tower is under
MKB.
attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
It's a bit of ways away from it.
He's just still pushing out top. Even though
Radiant's
he's
top
good.
tower
This Remnant's not going to last that much longer. Yeah, it's gone. So, have to walk all the way down. I guess he has the Aghanim Scepter, so he'll be able to get there quickly enough.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Oh, here they come. MKB completed. Last set of barracks. Hope and a prayer. Hey, just ticking out in 50. See if they can burst through the first life. They're going to try and target down the Darkseer. With
Be a decent way to start.
Yeah, Nico. It's a wall off.
I mean, if Mac's there, that doesn't happen. So, feel like they're getting a little lazy, perhaps, on Polaris, considering how these two games have gone so far. Young PH pops his BKB, but look at him melt.
Hal, let's see how much damage he can do, but instantly Natsumi, who'd back up to a respectable amount. They're still trying to manfight in the Wukongs, but as soon as the Finger of Death arrives, he'll evaporate, and so will Yangon's opportunities from being able to tie up the series here. Polaris, a much-needed victory as well, considering they are yet to take it 2-0, so it's going to give them some confidence and a bit of a breathing room from the bottom of the table.
It brings them right back up into that middle of the pack, sitting at 3 game wins, 5 losses now after that, so edges them ahead of Neon, Army Geniuses, and Galaxy Racer. And yeah, I mean, it means that if the group stage were to end at this point, they would still qualify for that lower bracket. But of course, we're only about halfway through the at the end of today, we'll be halfway through the group stage, so still plenty of Dota to be played. I mean, the background sums it up. I mean, that feels like you were already dead is the way that they were just playing it throughout this entire game. No matter where Yangon went, there was just a bunch of Polaris heroes there to turn things around onto them. I would say Mac probably has to be given the MVP for that one. You know, he was making plays happen all around the map, and very selfless with the way that he was looking to make the plays outside of that last home of knowledge, which he didn't need. Come on, let's be real.
He needed that level 26. What are you speaking about? 18, 2, and 23 for Mac overall. An incredible performance. Really put Yangon just down in the dumps. We saw them previously, at least when we last casted them. They had a very solid series against Dreammaker, but unfortunately for them, still Yangon though. They were sitting in 4th place, tied with Execration before this game. But again, like we are saying, this is a much needed series victory for Polaris, just trying to build that confidence and head to the later stages of the groups. Like you were saying, I think we're about to hit the halfway mark in regards to days. So still a lot more series and games left remaining for all the teams and for us as well. We've got one more series of the night. It's going to be OB Neon taking on Army Geniuses. It'll be the 7th versus 8th place, but these teams haven't played a lot of games so far, considering like SMG and Boom. So they're looking to try and bring themselves right back up to the top of the table. Only time will tell, so we'll find out after this break.